Bootstrapping. What does it really mean? And is it really possible as a non-technical founder? In today's episode, I'm going to share the answer to that question and give you my point of view on what it is possible to do and not to do, and how to move forward with your project if you don't have investments. Hi, I'm Amaury, founder and CEO at My CTO Friend, where founders come to learn how to build their tech startup. And with this Startup Snack series, available on both podcast and YouTube, we want to share the essential to make it easier for you to build your tech startup. And if you follow me on social media, you might have noticed that I am not only sharing videos for My CTO Friend, but I also recently started to share videos about a startup called Marketing Automation Ninja. Because coaching startups is cool, but building startup as a founder is way better to really learn how to do things right? So, especially when we force ourselves to not invest a bunch of money upfront. So before to tell you a bit more about this startup and how we've built it, let's talk about what is bootstrapping. That's a common word in the startup world, and it means that we are not aiming to get any investments upfront. Basically, we want to make money before getting any investments. And that's exactly what I did on the beginning for My CTO Friend. And I'm currently doing the same with Marketing Automation Ninja. So for this project, I started from a basic need. My company had to reduce its size, and I had to do most of the work that I was delegating so far myself. For example, editing videos like this one. You know, I believe that life brings us what we need in order to learn what we need to learn. And for me, it was really the opportunity to learn how to better bootstrap and bootstrap for a longer time and not to count on external investments. Because it's hard to raise funds, but I believe that it's even harder to bootstrap. The problem with the fundraising is that we postpone the difficulties for later. Finding the right business model, selling, surrounding us with the right persons, delegating what we know, and even harder, delegating what we don't know. I personally see investment as a trap if you are not prepared enough. I believe that founders need to learn to bootstrap a company before aiming to fundraise. Basically, we need to learn how to build startup and earn money before getting too much debt. I've seen too many founders selling their house to invest almost everything they had in their company. So, how to bootstrap? It's easier said than done. And the first things to understand is that despite we have a vision of an amazing product, a great platform, or maybe a super software that does exactly what we want, then just understand that this is just a vision and it will never be exactly what you have in mind. The reality is that you need to build it with your clients. If you don't have any investment, you have nothing in the beginning, basically. I mean, you don't have your amazing platform or your amazing app yet. So what do we have? How can we get started then? You have basically your brain, pen, papers, emails. That's pretty much what I had last year when I had to produce and edit my videos by myself, which was almost impossible for one person. Because if I wanted to have time to coach people, to sleep and to take my weekend off, which I always do, by the way, that was impossible. So instead of thinking, okay, what tool can I create? I thought, okay, what process can I create to save time? In my case, it was the time for me to just produce video without editing. That's the new idea that I had, because editing was really time consuming. And I thought, yeah, why just not editing at all? A bit more challenging. I feel more natural when I speak, like right now. Just I now have to record and to share my thoughts. Cool. Let's give it a go. And then that's exactly what I did. And that's how this project, Marketing Automation Ninja, got started. I identified small things like uploading videos on YouTube that can also be time consuming, uploading the audio on podcast that can also be time consuming. So what I did is that I created some simple automations to upload them automatically thanks to automation tools. I've used Zapier and another one which is called Auphonic for the audio, for the podcast. So you might think, okay, but setting up automation tools can be complex, right? But, for $50 or maybe $100, I could have found someone on Upwork or Fiverr to do exactly the same. It also could have been for some clients' projects. They could have asked me to publish their video manually. I could have sell a bit of my time and I could have automate that process to them. That's pretty much what I did a bit later. And that's by using these automations for my own needs that I've imagined new things, new features. For example, I added the intro and the outro for my podcast, generic. Then thanks to Auphonic, I did not have to code anything. It was just inside the Auphonic tool. Then I created the very first line of codes to add the intro and the outro in videos. And I sold that to a client. Barely, it was something like 50 lines of code and a server to run it on the cloud to do that. And boom, I had my very first version of my project financed by a client. Again, that's something that I could have dedicated and have for maybe a few $100s on Upwork. That's when I started to share with my friends what I did and what my tool, my little bit of script was able to do. They found that amazing. It motivated me to dedicate small budget to add small features like transparency on the logos and effects, like video effects, etc. So far, no interface. Still today, right now we are working on the interface, but still today, I sold that solution to 10 clients without interface. If they wanted to change the intro, etc., usually they were sending me an email or calling me, and then I had just to adapt their intro and their outro. And it works, and I get paid on a regular basis for that. So, what can we learn from that experience? The first things that we can learn is that you don't need a tool to provide value. Instead, we can use either existing tool or we can do the job manually for our clients on the beginning. Basically, we can set up a process with them to make it smooth. And that's going to be the beginning of your customer's experience. I can hear you from here. You said, you think, my project is different. My clients need to send information and I need to reply, etc., etc. Okay. Then just use something existing like collaboration tools or maybe just a basic Google spreadsheets with each client, one spreadsheet for each client, and turn on notifications on your dedicated account so that you know when they edit it. You need a social media. You think your project is another type of project. You need social media dedicated to X, Y, Z. Okay. Then use an existing social media, create a dedicated private groups, and then provide the value from the inside of that group. Or for that groups, maybe that's a system that requires several groups. You can provide value. That's really what is important and what Bootstrap means. You will just have to invite your members from that group later on your real app whenever it will be ready. Don't be afraid to do things manually on the beginning. For sure, you won't be able to manage thousands of clients, but maybe your first 10 or 20 clients will teach you so much that will make your first product way better right from the bat. As soon as you are getting paid by your clients, then you can start automating things and find maybe freelancers to brainstorm with you on what is time consuming and how you can automate small things to handle more clients. At My CTO Friend, we can also help you with that to find prototyping techniques and to play with no-code technologies, etc., to hook things and to make things automatic. So in conclusion, with bootstrapping, you can make a bit of money being in a service mode first, doing what your app is supposed to do later, but staying focused on selling only what your app is supposed to do, this service. Obviously, if you need another business to just pay your bills, then only do something that you really master and that you can do without too much effort. And that's how you are going to prove that you can make some money with your product. Having a company that generates some incomes is the good start that any investor is looking for, really. And if you have an extra money that is coming in on monthly basis from your own service, even from complementary service, that proves that you are a good entrepreneur and you know how to make money out of your time. And again, doing manually what your product is supposed to do is really, that will brings you a huge positive impact on your customer's experience because you will have mastered the process. If you enjoy learning with us and want to see more, consider subscribing. Help us spread the word by hitting the like button and by sharing with your entrepreneur friends. And if you have any question or want to suggest a topic, feel free to comment down below, or you can also check out our website to learn more about our program and how you can join.